gonna finally drink the alcohol because I've had a crazy morning. I've had a really up and down morning. This is the most healthy alcohol there is. Tastes like sparkling water with a little bit of flavoring. Has no added sugar. This is amazing. This is amazing. And people really like their beer. Has almost twice as many calories. Beer has well, it has 140 or 180 calories for a light beer, and this is 100 calories. Listen how much I'm talking. Instead of going to the beer, this is not really a beer. This is only has 100 calories, and it has 5.5% alcohol, way more than a light beer, a little more than a regular beer. Has 5.5% alcohol and only 100 calories. Tastes like sparkling water with a little bit of flavoring, with no added sugar. None of that useless garbage added sugar in those drinks that pretty much give somebody diabetes when they drink one drink of it. Those those sweet alcohol drinks of the 90s and the old days. This is the new one. It tastes like sparkling water with a little bit of flavoring. It tastes really healthy, and it still has alcohol, and it's only 100 calories for one of them. And it has high alcohol content. So it's still alcohol. It's not the healthiest, but for an alcohol, it's the healthiest alcohol there is, I think. It tastes really good. Like sparkling water with a little bit of flavoring, no added sugar. They finally figured out a way to not put the added sugar in it. It tastes like a sparkling water. You can barely taste there's alcohol in it. But if you start drinking enough, it's like, oh, there's alcohol in it. If I drink it, I usually drink this much. If I really can't take it anymore, I'm having a breakdown, I have about this much of one, and that's all they usually have. I'm pretty healthy. But if it's been really bad, I might have 3 or 4. And I never drive anywhere. Tastes pretty good. I just had too many ups and downs this morning with no ups. Whatever you call that stuff. Like a roller coaster ride with nothing good feeling about it this morning. Other than it was like calm and peaceful. It was like I could go out there and work on my dad's houses and it would be okay, you know. Like it was like Ireland. It was like everything was okay. Like my grandmother. Like I could go work on his houses, maybe, with the non-toxic paint, latex, doesn't hurt anybody. It's not like oil paint. You paint the walls. Maybe I could have done it. And I texted my parents at 7 a.m. and said, "Can I go work on a house? What houses can I work on?" They have this one that they're trying to sell. They didn't write back. It's like a big thing to actually get to do it. And if I was doing it, it might have gone bad. I might have gotten pissed off, punched myself in the fucking head, and said I want to kill myself. It's not like something like, oh, let's just go paint and work for my parents. It's easy. No, it's like, so I went through a bunch of ups and downs this morning. Well, no ups, no good feeling. I just felt really not that great. So I'm finally going to alcohol to calm down. And I had worked out a bunch last night before I went to sleep. And, I don't have a perfect body. I'm not in the superhuman, really good looking, athletic shape all the time. But I do my best. And um, it was too much to think about with their houses and what's right to do. And I couldn't just keep working out this morning and fasting, which would have felt really good to the body. But then I gave up and said I wanted to die. and it felt like it hurt my body. And then I had to get healthier after that, by drinking water, not drinking alcohol, but mentally it was so chaotic, a little bit chaotic. Just this morning, just waking up this morning, and in the night, I had gotten really sad in the middle of the night. I thought, what would happen to Danica if she I just imagined her sad forever. It was like an image, and it was something mean I had said, and I got really sad about it. But it wasn't that bad what I said, and then it was okay again. And then I don't want to talk about it. But I did wake up this morning by watching a funny video. It was Anne Margaret. This woman called Anne Margaret. Anne Margaret, hey. And she's blonde, and she had like her hair pulled back, and it was like this smooth, nice head, like she's a little girl. and she's nice. And but also when you watch her more, you find out, she was the most popular one, the head cheerleader or something like that, and it's a little scary how famous she got. But that's not what she's about. It is what she really made. She actually was a cheerleader in the first grade. She was a cheerleader in the. I was a cheerleader in the first grade. and I like watching her. And she has like blonde hair, and I just made my hair really blonde. So I was thinking about putting makeup on and doing that, but I don't even know how many views it would get. So, and my dad thinks, what kind of work is that? But I think it's really funny. I think it's really funny to act like even an older woman who's blonde, like how cute they're kind of cute, but they're like innocent, nice, and and I like it. I think that stuff is good. And and Margaret, yay! And this man came down and sat next to her, and he was really nice, and he was like 72 or 62 or something, or 58, and he was nice and soft-spoken and everything, but he didn't have a really country accent, but he was like soft-spoken and nice, and it'll be okay, Anne Margaret. Yay! And she and they kept talking about Anne Margaret, and they interviewed her, and it was so happy, and this Chinese, this Asian lady that was small and little said she wanted to get her to sign her autograph, and then it was interesting seeing how they interacted, because Anne Margaret was like really white, and always like the most popular and everything, and she thought, she acted like she was the most popular, like Elvis Presley, like so much more popular, better than everyone. And then how Elvis would do that in real life for somebody, he'd act like he was a superstar, almost like a false god. But it wasn't that bad with him. It wasn't that bad with Anne Margaret. And then to belittle the person so much by making them think that they'd be grateful to have this person offer their shirt to wipe the sweat off their face because they're so famous that they'd be course, this little person would be grateful because they're so much better that they're hugely famous. And then once that was acknowledged, then the famous person goes and hugs the person and makes sure everything's okay, to be really close to them, like everything's okay, because that's what they wanted to feel, like they were the most famous. Like Elvis did that. I watched him when he was doing that sometimes, and and she kind of did it a little bit because the lady had like a not as attractive Asian face. She wasn't as like, she didn't look like one of the most attractive ones or something, but she was okay. But and then they got along, and she was like a cute little Asian lady that looked like a little teen, like a little person that was like a little person. No, that was like, they got along and it was okay. And but it was all about Aunt Margaret, and she had like her hair pulled back with blonde hair, and it was like a smooth head, and it looked like a baby or something that was like nice and innocent, or like a nice innocent woman. And she was Aunt Margaret, Aunt Margaret, and it was. And I watched it, and I liked it, and it made me feel happy. But this tastes like seltzer water with a little bit of flavoring. And then when I drank that much of an entire one, it tasted like I could taste a little bit of the alcohol in it. It's only 100 calories. And Margaret. So I mowed my entire lawn almost. I mowed my lawn yesterday. I mowed my lawn yesterday. It was every, it wasn't bad feeling, but it took effort. Every little moment on thing, it was like, it was not easy. It was not like regular, it was not like mowing a regular lawn. The first, the grass had gotten kind of high because I had never gotten a regular lawnmower out here. I only had a non-electric, non-gas push one that was difficult to mow the whole lawn, and I'd have to mow it with that years before, and it was different at this house because it's just, it took so much work. It took so much work. When I got to this house, it was covered in huge vines growing up the entire house. There were windows and entire doors and walls missing, and there were raccoons living in the house, and it was leaking in 100 places. And this right here was covered in green moss. This right here was covered in green moss, and I had to scrape it off by hand. So this lawn was like weeds, poison ivy. One time I got it all on my arm. Um, One time I got it in my eyes. It had old looking eyes. In one of my videos it said old eyes and young eyes or something. And just the removing of the weeds and vines is not like a regular, was not like a regular lawn this far out in the woods. So I finally got a regular lawnmower. I can just mow across all the, if any little weeds are growing, or but so I thought I'd sell my house, get a bunch of cash, and then I could go see her and the kids, and we could spend some money. But this house, I think, is too special to sell. It's so much to think about. And that's why this morning I was like, I don't know if I want to go into town, pretend I'm a teenager without a family. You know, how it was when I was a teenager when I worked at Papa John's Pizza and did those regular jobs that people do. And they go into town and they feel okay at it. You know, I can't go back to that. I have a wife and kids. So, or, you know, I think she's still my wife. Because how sad it was last night for just some small things I said mean to her, and I'm never mean to her. I'm never mean to her. She's one person in the kids who I've never been mean to, compared to pretty much everybody else. Besides Taze, I haven't been that mean to. My mom, I haven't been that mean to. I guess the next door neighbor, I haven't been that mean to. One time I did say something mean. It was stupid. I thought something mean about the neighbor even. It's too bad. It was just like how it was awful. But I didn't even, it wasn't about him. And I've been mostly really nice to him. I was almost, you know, and it's funny how people are scared of others. Have you noticed that? Or is that just some thing that's in my mind? You know, it's like they're scared of others or others are scared of you. They're either scared of you or you're scared of them or some. It's like, which one is it? So it's better to not worry about it too much, not be the scary one all the time. And it's so hard to pay bills. And the past few weeks, the past few month or so, I almost became the scary one. But it's been okay again. But it's like people have to really pay their bills at something, and and if working at those things make you want to die, and it's too intense, but you know, maybe I can sell my house, go on the streets of Hollywood or some shit, you know, but I'd have a bunch of cash and I wouldn't party it up. But if I did marijuana to help my health, because it helps the health, it helps the physical health, unless people sit around and eat potato chips, which never did that to me. Like I could jump up 10 feet in the air and go running around somewhere, lift up like 200 pounds above my head or something, and have the most highly attuned motor skills imaginable with marijuana. It had some effect on me that I was able to do it. It wasn't like those bullshit ass things that numb the body or PCP or some shit. You know, it did something to my physical body. It made it superhuman and in really, really good shape. And I had almost no use for food unless my body really needed it. If I had gone long enough, then I'd eat a little bit on it. But it did something to my physical body that it helped it, and it was a healer. So I don't want to do it now because, you know, it's a temptation because it's legal now. But I was thinking I might just sell my house. Last night I was thinking I'd sell my house, go out to California, um, finally get high all the time on weed and be able to socialize around all the movie people and be famous. But then it came back to hurt me in the middle of the night. It was wrong. It was wrong. And I pretty much have no reason for marijuana other than it does have some health benefits. But mentally, I don't know if it's good to do or not. And according with the Bible, I don't know if it's good or bad yet. It may be a little bit more. You may be a little more likely to sin on it. So I don't know. And but I did think I'd go to California, sell my house, party up because I didn't know how I'd get to my kids and get famous. You know, actually do my work in acting and all that stuff, but finally get to have a social life from Because the reality of it is I've been here for 7 years. I've been hiding in my houses for 7 years. And it's been difficult to see my kids. So I thought it was a momentary thought, like and I turned up Guns N' Roses, loaded like a space brain, and started lifting weights. And I was very healthy. I only had one banana last night, and it felt like it was too much. Like it could have had no food and had low body fat, but I lifted all these weights instead of eating a supper when I got home from my parents' house. And then something happened. And I woke up in the middle after I thought I'd go party, loaded like a space brain all the time on weed, which helps the health. It's not bad for the health. It's not like some heavy drug, but it may not be as good. I don't know. And but I'd like to do it sometimes. But it's not something that I ever do now. I haven't done it, and it's just who cares. But the problem was, I thought that I'd actually get to go and party and be the famous one. Like all of them pretty much got to do. Robert Downey Jr. He partied his way through all that fame. They all partied. They partied. They got high. They got drunk. It's a little bit why those famous people never had really super athletic bodies, because they weren't that much into their health. Like the fitness experts the really super fitness people of today have such low body fat. It looks like they did one cycle of steroids once just to get a little bit superhuman muscle, like Sylvester Stallone. In his prime, when he was really into his health, he probably never partied that much. Well, he may have a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But the other ones, all those famous people, Judy Garland, but she got old as shit fast. She had really old teeth when she was in her 40s and just died. She looked like creepy to look at. She wasn't the Dorothy that everyone thought she was. And, in her 40s, and she just died of all the drugs she was doing. And, it's not that healthy, but marijuana can be healthy, but I don't know about the effects on the brain and the mind. But a lot of those people partied it up. So I thought, I'll party it up. I'll sell my house. Just go do what I feel like being famous. And then I woke up after I fell asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I got this image of Danica, so sad, so sad. Like it was, it was, it was really sad, and it was like she was almost forever sad, like stuck in a wall, and it was like I could, if you see, like, well, I've done art, so I can look at like a piece of wood and see a brilliant piece of art, and I can almost draw it and show you what it looks like. And so some people can see that, and I don't know, it's just anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, but I don't know if you want to do it, because it got pretty scary for a while. But I saw an image of her, and after I had said something mean to her, and I couldn't do it, and there's no way that I could go and like be with other women and stuff. But when I woke up, I don't know how I would have been. I wasn't even really thinking of being with other women, but partying. So I don't know what partying is. Just doing nothing, besides socializing with other actors, socializing with the directors you want to work with, the casting directors, the people to get you work in the entertainment industry, to get paid at it and make money at it. That's the purpose of it, and to not feel bad. You know, that's the fucking purpose of it. And so and to not feel bad. And but so this morning I almost, because I have to pay the bills. I don't want to be out in the street homeless or something. I probably never will, as hard as I work. But this morning, um, it's just, I don't get how other people are. I don't get how they just get to live it up and feel good. I don't know. So I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Before I went to sleep, I did many sets of weights, more than I usually do, or was doing when I was not doing as much weights. And I finally got back into really good shape because I had quit all caffeine and this other difficult stuff, and I felt really healthy. But then these other things attacked my health, and it felt bad. But you know, there's a reason that there's a reason to you know, to do things, you know, but you don't want it to have you don't want to have things a bad reason. You don't want it to have work of unrighteousness. That can be bad. If you take your job so seriously that you put your job that makes money and getting money and things on earth first, don't do that. Well, don't do that. Don't ever do that, because that ends up in hell for all eternity, and or the lake of fire, wherever hell's going to be. So it's not worth being mean about it. You're so I mean, it's just, but I couldn't go on anymore. And so I thought I'd have some alcohol, but I may have to mow my lawn now. The rest of the lawn, the part of the lawn that I was unable to do. I got so pissed off after I had to, every little moment. I was hanging. I was there was the part of the lawn that I did was, most people that would would do it with a weed eater, but I was doing it with a push lawnmower on the side and going up and down the thing, and every little moment worried about, because it was high grass. I didn't know if something was gonna fling somewhere else, because it's never hit my face. It's never hit my face. It's never been a problem. But I had jeans on and it was hot out, and I was doing that. I was doing that so that it wouldn't fly out and hit little pieces of anything. But there's nothing in the yard because I cleaned up every little piece of anything that was in the yard. And but I didn't check it before. I didn't check the entire lawn because I wanted to actually get it done. And so I had to mow the lawn, and I mowed pretty much all the lawn, but I got to the end and the lawnmower stopped, and I just started. I said, I can't do this. This is not what I want to do with my life. I don't want to do this kind of fucking work. I don't want to do these regular jobs. And all this mean stuff, and these huge, dark clouds came over the house, and it was mean. And I said all this mean stuff, and I'm not even gonna put it in a video because it was mean. It was sunny out when I was doing it, and I was constantly worried about, like, is it hitting this piece of wood? I had to roll the wheels up on a piece of wood to mow the edge of it just enough to, and have like all these other things move the gutter thing out of the way. But it wasn't that bad. I wasn't getting pissed off. It was that it was just constantly doing a little annoying constant work, and then I'd get to a place where other people would stop, and then I'd look at it and it needed a bunch more work, and I had to get the job done. So I had to keep doing and keep doing more. And then but I had to get the lawn mowed myself. I set up the lawnmower, put oil in it, gas from the gas station. I don't know how the fuck I made it to the gas station. It was me in there too. Like some guy, I just got pissed off. It was awful just to be able to go to the gas station and get gas. And it was mean. And I messed up. And just have to do this kind of stuff, like getting a lawnmower, mowing a lawn, and having to mow a lawn and do that stuff my parents do. It made me angry. And it was like, not turmoil, but like, it's just not what I want to do anymore. And also the entire time I've been cleaning any little tiny spider web off this entire house, you know, as I go, keeping it clean, because I might have to leave my house at any moment. and be thrown in this. Who the fuck knows where I live, and most of the stuff is packed up in boxes and bags. It doesn't feel that good. So this morning, I thought it was okay to drink alcohol, but I hope Danica will be okay. I might sell the house and have to go to Texas without this special house, but a bunch of money, which is pretty much. I don't even want to talk about those. How her parents have the. I don't know if I can go on anymore. So I don't want to be mean, but a big cloud showed up after I said, this is not what I wanted my life to be. Mowing a lawn at this age. After how hard I worked at the films and videos. And it's just, I'm not that bad of a person. I'm not that bad of a person. I think I'll find my way to heaven. And I'm pretty good. But I don't know what's going to happen, if I'm going to have to sell this house or what. And it's not that much money to make it in California, how expensive California is. The average house out there is $1 million. People have to make six figures sometimes. Not all the time. You can get by on maybe $60,000 a year or something. But you can't get by on $30,000 something a year unless you have a bunch of cash to outright own your entire house without a mortgage out there. And then it's different from here. It's different from here, and it costs more money, but they pay way more money. They pay way more money, so you might be more likely to make like $80,000 a year or something out there. So but I don't know. How can I drink this? I want like a water. I had one of them. I had this one. I just opened this, but I don't know if I can even drink it. And there's like a spider web right there. I've been constantly, even when I wasn't, it's just, I can imagine drinking this right now, like an alcohol without the hydration. I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to make it, but I don't care if I'm dead. I really don't care if I'm dead. It's so scary to think about. You have no idea of how I've had to see a waking nightmare of hell and go out there and surviving it and working it every day. It could be, I've had it so bad. I've had it, how could it be that good feeling out there in Roanoke? Like everything's okay. Is it really that good there? I wrote to him and said, can I go to a house? I don't know if I can breathe the paint. It's fucking latex. It's not going to hurt anybody. You can rub it, like a fucking poor person who doesn't know shit, rub it on their body because they're dumb as shit. I don't know. But I'm not, that poor is not dumb as shit. Poor is not dumb as shit. Some of those people, they just can't help it. They fell into bad times and that's how it is. But it's like they didn't know that. See, it's like my parents have had to work really hard. But they're not worried about that now. So it's like kind and good and happy out there. And it would be like, hey, maybe I could show up and I could actually work and it wouldn't be traumatic. It wouldn't be traumatic. It wouldn't make me want to punch myself in the head and say I'm going to kill myself for having to do these things again and again and again and have to do, it's like, it wasn't always, it wasn't annoying always. It was, it might actually be okay, which would be something new and different. And maybe that's Alice thinks. And, he kind of served himself a little bit, but I don't know. Like right now, I didn't think to actually get the water that my body felt like having. You know, it was like he would have just gotten the water for himself, and that's how he lived, and he got to feel okay all the time or something. But he was kind to others too. He's really kind to others. He's a kind person. He's one of my best friends. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be mean. And Margaret, I shaved yesterday. I didn't shave, but if I shave and put makeup on, and Margaret, if it's that difficult and I go that crazy and I start acting like, hey, and I can't even, I can't do anything anymore besides like act. I can walk. I'm healthy. I've had to remove tiny spider webs to clean the entire house. I don't want to do it anymore. How's it going to be okay? I don't know. It's not like I'm the cool. It's your show. Act like it's a big show you're putting on like they've always seen. Like everything's okay. This is, maybe, sometimes that's appropriate. It's sad. The cats got taken away too. I don't know how that happened. I sent him to be with Danica. This feels pretty good. I don't feel bad. And Margaret, yay! No, she was a little too young and super cheerleader, most famous one sometimes, but not really. She was like, it was just a video of Anne Margaret. They called her Anne Margaret. And she had, I don't even know who it was. And she had like, somebody from the old days of a famous person or something, but everything was happy, and it was that she had like blonde hair that was pulled back, and she had a cute innocent, everything was nigga good, and she was like, even if she was in her 60s and like an older woman who is white and had blonde hair and she's nice. That's what I liked about her. That was like, she got to a place where it was so difficult and crazy, and she didn't want to think of any of that meanness or scared, like she wanted to be calm and nice. It has been so, it's like, it has been so, I've really had to survive. I've really had to pay the bills somehow. Like my dad had me like, I don't know. I was afraid. It's just been a problem. It's just been a problem with being that close to him in this town, I think. Because he's not my wife. He's not my wife. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know. They try to, I like that Anne Margaret video. Turned it gay like something happened to my own ass when I drank the water and sat back against this. What is that anxiety? What does it have to do with anything? Does it make me gay to like the Anne Margaret nice person? Because it's like chaos and turmoil and sometimes horror. Seeing horror was in 2014, but it hasn't been, thank God, anymore. It only happened in 2014 and a little bit in 2017. And it was scary. And having to like survive, having to pay bills, and not die of a disease, not have my body be hurt and stay healthy enough. And it's like, takes so much effort, and I'd say every day for 2 months I've given up and not wanted to go on living anymore. But like if somebody shot me in the head with a gun right now, I'd be at rest. I'd be at peace. But I was like, I can't see how it would really be okay, and it would stay that way for a while. You know, it just hasn't been that way for about, I don't know. But here and there it's okay, and then it's like right then an anxiety about a private part's feeling good. Why would I want to think about that? Why would I want to think about that at all right then? You know, another awful thing that I have to think about right then. Why would I want to think about a sexual thing of feeling good to your private parts around people who are maybe family, who's the last thing I want to think about was sex? Why would I have to think about right then? Yeah, it feels good to do his private parts. He'll fornicate and work, and who cares? Pretend like he never had a family anyway. Might as well kill himself. You know, it's like, I don't get what it's just turmoil, chaos. But going out there this morning was like, hey, maybe I could work on my dad's houses like it was normal and okay, you know, like I didn't, you know, like every day isn't, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what they're saying. They think. I don't know. So that's why I like to feel like Anne Margaret sometimes. Like I'd like to have blonde hair and makeup and Anne Margaret. Except I really have a penis. I wouldn't want to be a woman. Like I'd like to act like her, or have her there, Then I wouldn't have to pretend that I'm like her because I'm all by myself and have no one at home other than some other family that are okay, but just I don't want to live in the same town as them. Sometimes it's so awkward. Why would you go back to your parents when you had a wife and kids? So I think I started acting like the baby, Danica and the baby, and Innocent, because they weren't there, and that was like to make me feel. Well, I don't know why I did it, but like as if I, but I would never want to be. I would never want to be a woman. I don't want to have a. I wouldn't want to have a vagina. That's something that just doesn't. It doesn't interest me. But it'd be fun. It'd be like. I'd like to be like Mr. Rogers, or somebody who's really calm and peaceful. But I'm afraid that without the working out and stuff, you might die. You might die for too much that way. Like without getting to work out and stuff. So I think if you're really calm and peaceful, unless some of those people live long, but I can't do it for myself. I don't know how I would do that. Because I like to work out sometimes. But that would be nice to be able to be one of those calm and peaceful people, you know, and they, but not like peace like hippies, but not like peace like hippies, but like those people who are like, how do they get to feel that peace inside them where it's like they don't want to do anything physical and they take it easy. But how do they even able to walk if they do that too long? Because you have to do something to exercise your legs. Unless some of them have some, like they can feel, they can do that and live. Maybe they can. It's just not. I don't see how it's possible. I can't even say that they live a long time that way, because you need to do something to strengthen your legs and body. Because you don't want to just like. But Stephen Hawking was able to lay in a bed, and he didn't have to. He didn't have to. He never had to go through the chaos and turmoil and things associated with things that you have to do to try to make money enough to pay your bills, just so you have enough money to eat, you know. Because I barely got my groceries. I barely got these groceries, you know, because I could talk about it, but you know, now I don't want to be like Ozzy. You know, he might be so sinful, he might be on his way to hell. I don't know. I have no idea. He partied it up. Ozzy partied it up all the time. Got so drunk he didn't know what happened the night before. Was doing his famous stuff. Partying almost all the time around strangers. He'd be with different women and stuff, and wake up with a woman and people he didn't know who he was partying with, and that's what he did. And then he realized this is like somebody who may be on his way to hell. For all I know, I don't even know. This is like how somebody lived his life, and then this is what I think of Ozzy. I don't know what he really did. And then he said he missed. Oh, he wanted to wake up around the same people. he wanted to wake up around the same people who he knew who they were, and so so he got married. So he got married and had kids, and then he had love at home. You know, he really he had those same people he loved and was kind to, and he didn't do crazy. He wasn't mean to them, he didn't think mean bad things to them ever, probably. And he had a family. And then something, I guess, as he got older, he took an interest in other women, and she got angry at him, and who knows what it. You know, he might, I don't know if he's on his way to heaven or hell, but he might not be the right person to gravitate to, who calls himself the Prince of Darkness or something, you know? So, but, he started off his life, I don't know. You know, some of those people have done drugs since they were like 10 years old. And they live like the street life mentality, like somebody like Mike Tyson, or he's like had to be the biggest, meanest one of anyone, and choose people he wanted to fight the shit out of and beat and win against, and why it's like pretty violent and bad, and like that's not the kind of person that you really want to be. But maybe he had some way of getting it. Maybe he has some way of getting to heaven, for all I know. I don't know. You know, it's so hard having enough money to get by. You know, would I be better off? No, I don't know. It's so hard having enough money to get by, and what you have to go through to have enough money to get by. if I could retire, I can't retire. So I don't really want to live. It's been like unrest since I was 12 years old. It's been unrest. All the other kids at peace, and me like always being nice to them, doing God's work. Most of it was God's work, all for them. Thinking, oh, their face looks okay. They don't have anything wrong with it, but doing like not knowing that I looked any good at all, having no confidence in myself, always standing up for. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what it was like. Maybe I fit in and was okay. For all I know, I don't really know. I don't really know. But you're. I don't know what I'm gonna do to pay my bills. That's the problem. So that's just that in itself makes me not really want to live anymore. Because I had planned to go to California, and I could have partied, smoked weed, and finally had no inhibitions around those people. I wouldn't have any inhibitions, so I feel good and confident around them and could talk to them, talk to them in a normal way, and socialize with them, and say you're an actor, or what the things that they do that I know how to do really well. I know how to do screenwriting and all the actual filmmaking, but without the meanness. And it's like the world is so mean sometimes. Some people are so mean, and there's sin. Well, it's because of the sin in the world. It's because of the sin in the world, and it's just like I don't know how it's gonna be okay. I don't want to hear my voice talking. Like right now, I'm talking all the time, and I'm thinking like, why is this person talking? And I'd rather not hear me talking. But this is kind of therapeutic for me because it's something I like to do, is being in front of camera. And but I don't know. Maybe it's not. That's not a Hi. Hey, Margaret. This looks pretty good. Where'd I go? There you go. The heck? Why come it doesn't feel bad? Now it feels good. Hey, maybe that guy's kind of nice. Afraid to show myself. A bird. Here's what I did. Well, I put that lawnmower together, put the oil and stuff in it and the gas, and mowed the high grass. There's a lawnmower. I had to mow on here. I mowed this thing. Had to mow all of this. I filmed it from up there. I might put it in a video, but I didn't film all this.
I mowed all this down this edge with a giant motor lawnmower. Did it all with a push lawnmower. People would have done it. It was scary. Like on here and this, it wasn't that bad. You know, actually, it was pretty good. I got a good feeling I wasn't supposed to say it was scary. And I mowed this. I mowed that. I mowed in here and mowed some of those weed plants down. It wasn't like a regular lawn. I had to do all this. I mowed this, mowed up there. It was like high grass. I mowed this on here. But I never got hurt mowing a lawn. We were always okay. My dad, none of us got hurt. It was like good. And I mowed this through here. But I might have to come back and mow that. But I can't do it right now. And so I mowed this. Mowed through there. Here's part of the lawnmower that fell off. Didn't really need this piece. The lawnmower is good. And somehow I couldn't take it. I mowed all through here. I mowed down to that guy's house on here. And this is gravel that was like, I had to have jeans on. I mowed through there. I mowed this stuff and that in the middle. Because I thought I'd have to sell my house and it needed a good looking lawn. I thought I'd just sell my house, but the lawn didn't look good enough. I'm afraid to show it because right here I might have to mow the rest of that. Might have to mow that. I don't know how the fuck I'd even do it right now. It looks kind of steep. It wasn't that bad. I've done that I've mowed hundreds of lawns, I think. Yeah, of course. Of course I've mowed hundreds of lawns. So I can probably do that. I just, right now, it feels like it would I don't have the energy to do it. I don't know if I'd be able to. The motivation or the energy right now. And I think, I don't know, I might be able to. It's just having to do these. So I mowed all this. I don't know if I can do it anymore. But at some time, I think I have to get that. I have to mow that. And then I can just sell the house or something. And then I'll have enough. I don't know. It just doesn't look that great. I don't know why it doesn't look that great. I can't even show the house. I thought it didn't. Well, now it looks okay. The house. I guess that guy down there thinks so. No matter how much work, I don't know what they think. I got really angry because I didn't want to do it. Because it was not easy. I had to mow this. But it was, that's how you mow, that's how I mow. I don't know. It's just, no one ever got hurt. I never hurt myself doing it. But this, usually you do this with a weed eater. But I had no other choice. I thought I had to sold my house, so I mowed that, but I didn't know how to mow that in there without a weed eater. But I mowed all that. Yeah, I don't want to use a weed eater ever again. I don't want to work at it ever again. So I had to do that, and maybe there's some way I can do something to this. Maybe I can mow this a little bit better. I can probably get the lawnmower in here, get this hose out of the way, and mow that. So I can do that if I have to, but I can't. I physically can't right now. Feels like it would do some electrical damage if I fucking tried to do a big ass thing like that, unless I really got the motivation and could do it. So it's like, that's been like not an issue. I've never had issues with my electrical nervous system. I've never had problems with that, or the way that it interacts with my heart. And I don't want to do something that causes me to try to hurt myself, to mess that stuff up. So I just don't want to do that. It would be awful. So that's pretty good. I don't know. But that looks okay. I mowed the lawn better. It's out in the woods. It's out in the country. It has the potential to look like a really beautiful lawn, but it's hard one person doing it all. You know, I did it with that mower. I put this mower together. I call her Big Red. I call her Big Red. I call her Big Red. I don't know what that fucking means. I don't know. I feel like Anne, the 62-year-old, nice, calm Anne Margaret. No, she doesn't have an athletic. She's not like a man. Anne Margaret. And Margaret. like somebody. Everything okay? And Margaret. But here it looks pretty good. I mowed all that. I said it in a Roanoke voice. I mowed. That's how people talk here. I mowed. I was barely able to do it. I had a breakdown. Whoops. Why would this be locked? It's okay. It's like the country people of Europe in Roanoke, this town. They're like the country people of Europe. And sometimes I talk that way. I don't know. It's really green here. Not in the winter. But it snows. In the winter it snows. It feels awful. This light looks bad. Well, it's okay. Here's the house I did work to. I put this light in. Fuck that. I feel like it was gonna kill me. So I had one beer of those 3 beers. It was only 100 calories. It's like sparkling water, but it has alcohol. Because I couldn't take it anymore. So it's not that unhealthy. It was only 100 calories of it. I guess I'll turn this off. Hey, we can actually eat a breakfast, not worry. That's not too many calories. Kung Pao chicken. I couldn't fit these. I finally got groceries. I couldn't fit them in the freezer. I got all these. I hope people don't hurt me for this, but it's vegan. I really like this one. I hope people don't get angry at the way that I like to eat. I'm gonna eat at least one of these. I might have more upstairs. It's been so hard to do. General Tso's tofu. This is that looks more Asian for some reason, but it's like afraid to show it. People are mean about wanting me to eat their ways. Just tell the truth. They may tell me to die like a faggot for eating this, for showing this right now, and showing my videos. Hey, I'm nice, kind. That's what it was yesterday, the anxiety. Die like a faggot. Until I laughed at it. Die like a faggot or die in poverty. You'll die in poverty. Or die like a faggot. But, that might be people giving that anxiety might be feeling like they're about to die. Like they, okay. I got a one chance left on a nightlife cat. I got a one chance left on a nightlife cat. Got a rattle case, snow case, a rattlesnake. I got a rattle case. Got a rattlesnake suitcase on the ball. I'm a mean machine digging gasoline, and you can make my motor hum. Die like a faggot. Die like a faggot. Anxiety, just go away. Fuck you. I don't know. This is a funny song. I'm just gonna play the song I don't have the rights to. Alexa, play Freight Train by Guns N' Roses.
I couldn't find Freight Train by Guns N' Roses, but here is other music by Guns N' Roses.
I didn't eat the food. I brought it up here. No! Alexa, stop! Alexa, play Freight Rain, what the heck's it called, by Guns N' Roses. Alexa, play Night Train by Guns N' Roses.
Here's a station you might like.
Alexa,
60s.
Stop. Okay, I won't play the song I don't have the rights to. I'm just gonna work out. Loaded like a freight train, flying like an aeroplane, feeling like a space brain one more time tonight. I'm loaded like a freight train, flying like an aeroplane, feeling like a space brain one more time tonight. Well, I'm a West Coast strutting, one bad mother got a brattle case.
rattlesnake suitcase under my arm. Well, I'm a mean machine. I don't like gasoline. Get the shit away from me, motherfucker. I'll punch you in the air, anxiety. Get away from me. Get away from me. I'm a mean machine drinking gasoline. I'm a mean machine drinking gasoline, and maybe you can make my motor hum. Now you gotta die like a faggot, because the AC/DC guy said a motor is an ass on a woman. Now you're gonna die like a faggot. You're a homophobe. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, anxiety. Okay. That's how you trick them into being the homophobes. They always think somebody's gonna get their ass. Who's behind me getting my ass? Until they learn to like it. And that's how they become a real gay man. If they're no. Does it even look like anything good enough? Do I even look good enough? Who knows? Yo. Well, I'm a mean machine drinking gasoline. Actually drinking gasoline, like they're serious about it. The shit that people think in their minds. The shit that people think in their minds. Loaded like a freight train, flying like an airplane. You'd have to sing it like Axl. The way I sing it is like a joke on Axl Rose. I don't know how you'd sing that seriously and actually sound cool without it being as amazing, as weird as Axl Rose. As weird as Axl Rose. Like he's high on his drugs. Loaded like a freight train, flying like a space brain. Flying like an airplane, feeling like a space brain one more time tonight. I got a West Coast, I got a rattlesnake suitcase under my arm. Well, I'm a West Coast strutting, one bad mother, got a rattlesnake suitcase under my arm. Well, I'm a mean machine, drinking gasoline. But don't you make my motor hum. I'm a homophobe, don't want to be like a bee with his ass, making a motor hum on my asshole, motherfucker. Got a rattlesnake suitcase under my arm. Well, I'm a mean.
I gotta pee. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna pee. But it's good. It's good in Roanoke, but you know, I can't. You know, I had difficulty here with anxiety, so it was not easy. It was not easy. Just fitting in. Just fitting in. And when I was a teenager, I don't know. I just wanted to be famous for my real work, my work at art and stuff like that. Loaded like a space brain, flying like an airplane, feeling also like a space brain one more time tonight.
Well, I'm a West Coast strutting. One bad mother got a rattle case, no case under my arm. Well, I'm a mean machine drinking gasoline, and it don't make my motor hum. I ain't a fag. Get away from me, man. And then, oh shit. Rattlesnake suitcase under my arm. I got happy again. That made me feel more athletic and good, feel healthy. That's the thing. I want her. Well, I gotta pee. Well, I got one chance left on a nightlife card. Got a rattle case, no case under my arm. I don't know what it is. Got a rattlesnake, a case under my arm. Well, I'm a mean machine drinking fucking gasoline, and you can make my motor hum. I ain't a fag, maybe the lady boy mean one. I don't know if you know what's in here, motherfucker, don't get near, or I might fucking bring you here and say, fuck you, get away from me, cause I'm nice.
I'm not a ladyboy. I'm not gay. Don't want to die like a faggot now. That was my anxiety, was I thought I'd die like a faggot yesterday. I thought somebody's telling me, I kept getting anxiety, die like a faggot. Then it was like, die in poverty. And then I was like, I'm not poor, I work hard. Made no sense to die in poverty. Maybe that was Al. He was worried about he'd die in poverty because he's kind of poor. He got poor as he got older. I think that makes the most sense, that he was worried he'd die in poverty. So it was like, even though he has enough money where it's not a problem for him. Like, he was used to kind of living that way, like how when he was younger. Like, he lived in these tenement buildings that weren't a real place to live. And they lived there somehow when he was like in his 20s or something. So it was kind of normal for him, and he was used to it. That was something that wasn't that bad for him to do, was like live in a shack in the woods. Now he lives in a shack in the woods. But I'm a man. I'm not a ladyboy. You know, people, I don't know if they understand that I'm the straightest person there is. You know, I don't want people to kill me because they think I'm gay or something. I don't think they would, but I don't know. I have one chance left on a nightlife cat. That sucks. One chance left on a 9-life cat. Like but he went on to who knows what that person. He turned, like, you know, Axl Rose, his father was either a pastor or really, really Christian and good. And he thought everything was a sin, is what Axl Rose said. He thought every little thing was a sin and it was wrong. And he tried to raise him in that. And then Axl Rose just got away from it and said he didn't give a fuck anymore. And he went out and became famous, worked his goals, and maybe was misled in his faith a little bit. But I don't know. And Axl Rose never really had a wife. He kind of had a wife. He got married for like a few months or something. He never had kids, supposedly. So he's like some guy that was single and did his cool, famous stuff that he liked to do, and is different from me, because I don't know how those people suffer, you know. And some of them, besides him, I don't know if he's wicked or not, but there's some people out there who are wicked, and I don't see how they live with themselves, like with the bad that they do. Because I have a conscience, and I worry if I do something wrong, I worry or repent or something like that. I repent after it, and those people are scary. The wicked people, they will try to corrupt your soul and almost kill people. They'll try to almost kill people until they get them to sin more, and then they're like, yeah, and then they go away. That's what they did to me a few weeks ago. There was like some agnostic person or atheist or something, and who cares? It hasn't been
It hasn't been that way for a while. Loaded like a space brain, flying like an airplane. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Feeling like a space brain one more time tonight. Who would? That's what I was listening to last night. And I was like, I'm gonna go out to California and party. And I started, my way of partying was lifting a ton of weights, did many sets, and deprived myself of food. And the only thing I kind of messed up with is I ate a banana. I ate a banana before I went to sleep. And then this morning was just too much. I don't know what that is out there other than white Europe. White European good feeling. I don't where's the famous stuff? How do I get to be, where's the stuff I like to do? Where's the screenwriting? Where's the stuff that I want to make a living at, that I'm good at with those films? I can make those entire movies myself. I don't want to work at the things that my dad thinks is how it should be. It doesn't make me feel happy to paint a wall, because that turns into, you know, it can be long hours of it. It has to be right. It has to go exact. It has to go right up to the edge. It has to be a good job of it. It's almost I don't know. Maybe I can do it because I can hire others. Because I've had to do it for 17 years back here. I've had to do it for 17 years back here. So my dad knows what I've been through with, you know, now I'm lifting weights, but I don't know if you can judge my health. I don't know if you can judge my health, you know. So he knows now that I can't work as hard at that stuff as I could when I was younger. I'm just physically unable to. The breathing the stuff in, I have to wear masks now, maybe even around latex, but I think I'd be okay painting with latex without a mask. That's not that bad. But I can't paint with oil paint unless it's very small and I get the fuck away from it. So he wants to prime use the oil primer paint. He wants things his way. It's his business. It's his business and stuff that he does. He doesn't call it a business. He's been a sole proprietorship, but he's a businessman. And I don't know how I do it anymore, because it's not as good feeling and stuff as people may think. So I don't know how I'll do it. Can just go work in one of their houses, but I can't, because I have a wife and kids there who I'm supposed to be there for, and that's when everything was okay, when I had my wife and kids. I gotta use the bathroom. not supposed to be at all sexual. People work out, it's not sexual. They're not having sex when they work out. It's not about sex. People work out in the gym, they don't think about a dick. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say stuff like that. That pissed me off. Walking out here, because I was in front of camera showing my body, you should actually get in really good shape. Actually get in super athletic shape, where this right here looks like really amazing, and then maybe people would watch the video. Then maybe people would watch the videos more. If I looked like a superstar, a lead actor, and a superstar in his prime, to at least make a few $1,000s a month, then maybe that would. There are other things to consider, of course, which is why I don't look that way, I guess. There are other things that are more important. God's work. I don't know how much this is going to even help. Might. I can't. I don't even. Someone's going to say it's gay because. This is not.
Rattlesnakes are gays under my.
What is he doing? Rolling around on the ground and just. What can I do to really get this body in shape? People have to pay their bills. I don't know how much more this is. I should lose 20 pounds to be realistic. I should lose 20 pounds for this to really look good enough. And it's hard to do without doing a cycle of steroids. And if I did steroids, you could eat less. You just eat less food. But I don't know, because you'd have to go to Mexico to do it for it to be legal. You'd have to go to Mexico, have enough money to stay there long enough to work out while you're getting the benefits of it, and taking the drugs that you can get at the pharmacy in Mexico for that kind of crap. But that's legal, because they made it illegal in the United States. So how do I lower my body fat? I have plenty of muscle. I guess you have to work at it like every day, and not work. But that's not. But it's like there are other things to consider, which is why I don't know. I don't know what to say. Now I don't have the motivation to do it. I feel sad, almost like an emptiness, like it's hurting my health. I don't know why. Because I said this morning, I'll die. I said it in the night, in the middle of the night. And that, when you do that, when you give up enough, when it's so difficult to go on with how my love is, there's no love at home. See, there's something different from having sex. See, there's something different from having sex. You don't go to sex and work as the two things that you ever fucking do. That causes that you die. You die. You need the whatever. They don't want to look at my body right now. They see a body with not that many clothes on, and that's all they fucking know. So they think it's about sex. So I'll sell this house. Because their bullshit doesn't make me happy. I'll grow long hair. If they try to make it fall out, I'll get hair more beautiful than Elon Musk's.
So fuck whoever the fuck thinks that they can push me around, make me do things their way that made me want to kill myself and took my wife and kids away from me being back here. They want to put me to work now. They think if this is what my body can do, they can make me do shit that they want. I don't give a fuck if they're dead. They see what my body can do. They want to put me to work out there like a fucking slave for the military and the bullshit that they believe in. They're evil shit, killing people and shit. You see what my body's, they think with them up. They assume my body's capable of. It's because I'm doing something I'm used to and I like. Can't take someone like that and make me be a workhorse for their fucking shit they made me do for 17 years. Instead of being a famous person in California or writing scripts and being in movies and doing things that I enjoy, I had to come back here, do a big necessary evil for the government or some shit, and have my wife and kids taken away from me, doing all their stupid shit that I never gave a fuck to ever want that to be my life. And that's what coming back to here was. That's what it felt like. To get their degrees so they can be a studious fucking person. How did that help me? Other than to do my own entire films and be the lead actor in it and write the movie and be somebody like Disney or Stan Lee, who I have the ability to write 100 screenplays of original beautiful material if I sit down and write it. And how could a human being do that in Virginia? How could you do all your own productions? Where do you get the money from when the only people you go to are my fucking parents who have, $7 million or something? How's that gonna fund my? How is believing in them and me being a workhorse to support their ways so they could get more and more money, and the other grandparents on the other side got more and more money when my wife and kids were taken away from me, kept hidden behind, hidden away from the world out there to support their ways the entire fucking time. And no matter what I worked at, had to be their sayings, their things that they thought were the best. That's no way of life. That's no way of life about the entertainment industry. My dad had to sit down and talk with me. I'm selling this fucking house. My dad had to sit down and talk with me a year or two ago, and he said, if you're gonna do a creative job or something like videos and films and music, you will have to accept a poverty wage. He told that to me. I never told that to my son. My son has 400 million views. I believed in him. I believed in him to be his best. It wasn't a fear that he would ever do anything mean to me, no matter how big and good he got at what he did. It was never a homophobe fear that he thought that my dad thought I was gonna take his wife or something. That is the most repulsive, disgusting sexual thing I'd ever want to do. Do you understand that, Dad? You're crazy, driven by fear. One of the most crazy kind of Republican people, like his ideas. He likes red meat. He wants you to eat red meat. I can't even say what else. I don't want to live in the same town as him. After all I did to put Trump in office, to be the fucking champion for their shit. I'd rather be in California being my fucking self. You know, push me around, try to make me into the biggest fear-driven Republican meat eater. I ate heavy, big animals. That was all I could eat to not be incapacitated for about a year. Had to have it at every meal. Fish didn't do shit. Fish was nothing. Fish was nothing. Eggs, not enough. I had to have bacon, heavy, big animals eating their dead bodies. And I had to imagine that it was hurting their bodies because there was a world of hell where after you died, that was the beginning of the hell, where they took your body down, they replaced it with a genetic duplicate, and that's when they kept you alive to maximize your body, ripping off your face, tearing off your arms and legs, beating unimaginable beatings and rape, having genetically modified, genetic creatures coming out of your asshole by demons and these horrifying creatures I could see out there. I had to go out there with a shaved head and change the entire fucking country on their beliefs. You think that's good? You think that's good to be the most fear-driven one of all of them? The most racist, fear-driven, hateful fucking person here in the European white place? That was what they did to me back here for trying to change the world in a beautiful, good way, which was mean too. And then, to make sure nobody got hurt at a political level, I had to suffer, be willing to all those horrors to happen to myself in as kind and good a way to go out there across the entire nation and make sure all those people would be okay, that none of the minorities got hurt, no one got hurt. So they didn't go back to the slave days. So I didn't become a slave owner, the new slave owner in the South. That's how bad the evil shit was. But guess what I got away with, motherfuckers? My ideas I was pushing out there became Obama in office, the first black president, something totally different than all that mean ass shit, the genocide of the Indians, the mean shit they did. I got in a my original ideas of love and tolerance of diversity and holding hands even to our worst enemies, even to the terrorists, instead of fighting and killing people for oil and blaming the terrorists. And all my original ideas became Obama in office, because I had calmed down by then. I didn't become famous. I gained 20 pounds, I had started a family. And you know what they did after that? They made me the champion for the most great, meaning occult great, biggest necessary evil done in maybe 20 years in this country. They made me go out there and brainwash all those fucking people to be that Republican how it got here. Obama was the enemy. And then, before any of the minorities got hurt, and the evil shit that they're borderline making me do, which was only thoughts I was doing out there to brainwash everyone, and in the work, if you can imagine what the work became, having to work at my parents' stuff, of course, but they were not the mean ones, And then, before anyone got hurt on a mass level, before they put them in internment camps and stuff like that, I had to suffer like Jesus, but not without the glory of Jesus. Jesus gets all the glory. He suffered worse, but the fear was unimaginable, way worse than they would have done to Jesus. It was bad. It was stuff that was down in hell, and I faced all of that the second time when I went without sleep off of my medicine, and I suffered for him because I knew I'd done wrong out there the first time I went off my medicine, and now I can quit my medicine. I don't drink caffeine. There's something about when I quit my medicine back then, I kept drinking caffeine, and I couldn't sleep for like 2 weeks, and that's when I saw all this stuff, and it turned me into this I don't do it anymore. The second time it happened, I felt wrong about what I had done. It was horrifying and scary, and I could see this stuff. Zombie people who they kept alive, who were walking down the streets with their arms and legs ripped off, that were in the Illuminati hell. That was a very real place that they could use genetic manipulation and keep people alive for centuries
unimaginable torment every moment, and it was shown to me. And so the second time it happened, I was as kind as I could, willing to face all the fears, have them hurt my body, do unimaginable bad things to it, way worse fear than anyone I think has ever had on earth. It wasn't a fear of getting AIDS. It wasn't a fear of getting a disease and dying. It was unimaginably bad fear. And they used my body to, like, the first time to, but the second time, I knew I had done wrong. So I was as kind and Jesus-like as I could. And I suffered for all of them. I faced all my worst fears. I faced all my worst fears of going to a hospital, of, I thought if I was put in a bed in a hospital, then, and weakened, then they could take me down to those, the creatures who hid in the shadows and stuff. I thought they could take me down, replace my body with something that was a genetic duplicate, pretty much, that was dead, that appeared dead to everyone else, but then the horrors really were going to begin. So I was afraid to go to a hospital, because of, not just because of the doctors in the hospital, but there's this unimaginable hellish fear. And so I faced that and was willing to go to a hospital, was willing to be all my fears back then, the worst things, and I suffered for all of it and was as kind as I could to minorities in a beautiful way, as most beautiful way that I can imagine, no matter what they do to my body. And somehow it changed. It made everything okay again. It made everything okay again in the nation, unless this was all in my mind. Unless this was all in my mind. And then I felt a closeness to black people, and no more homophobia. I had homophobia for like 3 years. I was one of the biggest dumb, redneck, racist, brilliant, horrifyingly, it was bad. It was, I drove a big white redneck truck, had a shaved head. I became what I thought they were, and hid my true self so far inside. And, it was like, it was bad. So I had that homophobia, but then I was like, Jesus, I had to suffer like Jesus for it to all be okay. I thought, I don't like it. What would they want me to, what do they want me to do here? They want me to paint a fucking wall after what I breathed in this house, when there were, I've done 5 years of I've worked at this house for 5 years, I've worked at this house for 5 years. It's a good home. It doesn't, I don't know if they have any idea of how much work I've had to do already for 17 years at their kind of stuff, but, I don't have any homophobia. I could have gone, hey, I'm a faggot, dudes, really am. I could have done that after the homophobic shit. I got so much back to normal, I could joke about it. And it is like, it went back to, I did so much Jesus-like work. I was like Jesus, willing to suffer like him. I didn't know enough about the Bible. I thought I had to be Jesus in the second coming. I thought the end of the world was happening. It was terrifying, because there were these new horrors that they could do to Jesus. I thought if that were hellish horrors, way worse than just being put on a cross and beating his body, but stuff that goes on in hell. But he suffered the worst of any human, and he deserves all the glory. But I thought I had to be like Jesus with no glory at all, so they'd all be okay. The suffering Jesus, the most suffering. So, because I knew I had done wrong about being racist, and then I felt such a closeness after that. All my homophobia went away. I felt such a closeness to black people and a love. And the miracle is that they got a black president, and the only kind of, I don't know what the fuck that means. That means nothing. They got a black president then after that, it got a little crazy with how, you know, somebody like Trump in office, there had never been somebody that much kind of racist and stuff. You know, the things he said out loud, you know, black people, you know, he wanted to make a wall so the Mexican people couldn't get, you know, he was, you know, he's an okay person. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He had a good conscience, I think, has a good conscience. He didn't go to war. He didn't go to war at all. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He might have been a little bit of a jerk businessman or whatever, but that was scary when he first came to office. They didn't know what was going to happen to minorities and stuff. And by some miracle, I suffered like Jesus. I think that I suffered like Jesus out there across the entire nation, standing up for minorities. There was an eclipse when they put me in a mental facility because they were going to hurt my body and they wanted to keep me in a hospital. These mean ass people for what I had done across the South in the most southern places, standing up for minorities in as beautiful way as I could across the entire country. I didn't know what they were going to do to my body, and they tried to first put me in a hospital, and they wanted me to sign documents, and they wouldn't say. I asked them, "Will I get out of here if I sign these documents?" And they would not answer. So I wouldn't sign the documents, and they said, "We'll put him in a mental health facility," to pretend that everything I had done across country was just crazy, and that was their way of saying he's crazy. It didn't mean anything. So they put me in a mental hospital, and then I stayed there for 7 days until I got sleep, because I hadn't. It was really because I hadn't got sleep. I wouldn't blame that hospital. I don't know. They could have been mean or good or bad. I don't know. Or it could have been just because that was the appropriate place for me to go, because I didn't have anything wrong with my body, but I had not slept for 2 weeks. Anyone who doesn't sleep for 2 weeks, you're going to see hallucinations likely. So, but it was more than hallucinations, because later when I looked in the Bible, it was the real description of hell. But some of it was kind of like maybe demons tricked me or something into thinking that it was real, like these zombies, and it had to do with genetic manipulation, because I was interested in, when I was really pushing the famous stuff, I was interested in genetic manipulation. I wanted to live longer and longer, like 1,000 years, or first it was 150. That was the thing that I kind of started on MySpace, and then that got a little popular, and then it turned, and then later I thought maybe 1,000 years old, and then I wanted to use genetic manipulation to strengthen the human body and have us live longer and look better and look younger, and it was kind of innocent that I wanted to just live longer. I didn't want to. But then it turned into a horror for how much I was pushing that stuff. That was like they could keep you alive in really horrific, unimaginable ways in hell for 400 years, and it became a horrifying waking nightmare of hell. So I describe it best as a waking nightmare of hell. That's where I describe it as the most, the stuff that I saw. And then later I looked in the Bible, and that's what hell was. It's way worse than anything they do on earth. And it's, you know, a human has no chance in hell to ever feel okay again. You can't get somebody ready to be in hell by showing them a Halloween store. You know, that those ideas are misled in their faith. And but my kids know about God now. My kids know about God and Jesus now. My kids know about God and Jesus now. But when people don't have the Bible, they think all these weird things that are not true. But after everything was okay again, after it kind of got racist in America, and then I think it got racist in like 2015, 2016, and 2017. Until the end of 2017, I went across the nation suffering like Jesus, and I think I was the one who made it okay again by being like Jesus, and then it was all okay again. But I still had nightmares about a month after I was hospitalized, and then all my homophobia went away. It was no longer a worry. And then the really amazing thing was that I felt a love and closeness to black people and minorities, so much that I didn't like having random white people that were kind of racist to work on my house. anymore, and I felt a closeness and not sexual, never sexual, just a comfort and like a love in my chest that even when I was a liberal and stood up for blacks and stuff and still joked, it was never that close. I felt comfortable around black people. Like it was okay. Like it was finally okay again. And they actually got away with getting a black president in office, but you know how it got with the Trump stuff. So, and it's okay again. And by a miracle, it worked out okay. So, I don't want to mess with politics again. I tried to go out to California and change the world with my original ideas. Everyone holding hands in peace, change things. I don't have any mean ass, angry ideas like I used to when I wanted to change the way things were. I was like, I hate all that mainstream conglomerate shit, and I was like mean about it. I like ran not conglomerate or mainstream. I thought it was evil, contrived. I saw the way they dressed to fit in, but then they were so mean, and I didn't understand what they enjoyed about what they did. But I was like, stuff like that when I was younger, I thought I'll go change the world, I'll change America, be famous. I was one of those creative people. I once heard a really a big studio guy who hires new creative types when they go to Hollywood. He says there's more than just me. They want to go to they want to go to California or wherever they can to be they want to go be famous. They want to change the world. They don't like how things are. They want to be the most creative, original one. They want to be famous for it and have everything be good and better than what they thought, how stupid they thought it was. And it's more common. And I guess people do that. It wasn't only me. But I was like a liberal, pushed that till I was like 37. And then I had to be a Republican. Like that was how they made me grow up. But it was really scary. And then I to make sure they're all okay, I had to suffer like Jesus. So somehow it all ended up okay. And I feel awful standing here, like it's hurting my body. But I made up for the sin that I did, as far as I know. But another thing that creeped up, as somebody as kind as I continued to be towards black people, I would not say the N-word. I wouldn't even say N-I-G-G-A. I would never say it. I was so kind and got along with them really well, but not in a sexual way. And then I felt like people were calling me the N-word, like I was an N-word. This was years after everything was okay. So it was like something else I had to go through for what I had done, I guess, my sin. And I felt like they were calling me an N-word all the time, but I think it wasn't appropriate. I think it was like, I think I don't have to be called it anymore, but I don't know. And I had to feel like I was the N-word in my house. Like any little weird thing I do with my hands, like, yep, he's an N-word for the way that I like scratch my butt wrong or something. Yep, N or whatever they say. And I didn't like going along with it. So I think I made up for all the sin that I did, but it was scary. I can't even take a look at it, my appearance. I can't take a look at that. I don't know. But that was a sin that I did on earth. That was like the worst sin that I did, was doing some shit that they like to do, that they made, there was nothing enjoyable about it for myself anyway, other than it was fear driven. And it was, that's not enjoyable. Fear driven is not enjoyable. And so I didn't even like it. And that was the worst sin that I did. Nothing for me that I liked about it. Other than it was so bad. When I was at my meanest, I'd laugh. My laughter became the suffering of others. Well, I laughed maniacally. And I didn't know who was suffering. I hope it didn't kill anybody. Because it was bad. My laughing became bad. It was really bad. It was really bad. It was in about 2015. It was so bad. I didn't know who was hurting, but I kept laughing and laughing. It was so bad. And and I made up for my sin. I went back to normal somehow. So I'm still alive, but I don't have my wife and kids. I don't know what's gonna happen because it was like kind of for my sin. It was for my sin. So I found Jesus. So when people sin in their former, well, when people sin too much, they really should find God in Jesus. They really should find God in Jesus. I don't know if my parents understand that. I don't know if they understand the born again Christians, because actually that might not even be true. Born again Christians. They'd have to really know what the Bible says to know if that's real or not. Some of those ideas may or may not be true. You know, the Bible's real. The Bible's real. They have to know what the prophecy's saying, what it really says. Because I don't know if born again, you know, now you're saved. That's not true. You don't know if you're saved until Judgment Day. You know, you can't say, I've been saved, I'm born again. How do you know if you're saved? The only one who knows whether or not you'll be saved, I'm not angry about it, but the only one who knows is God. And that's on Judgment Day, and he'll judge all of us. We're still alive and sinning. And you know, just because you think you got saved and you're following God and Jesus, you may not get into heaven. You may not get into heaven just because you believe in God and Jesus, but that helps. But believing in God and Jesus is almost the only way. That's the only way. God and Jesus, the only way. But this tattoo was at a time when I didn't know what it meant. But the only way is through God and Jesus. There's almost no other way to make it into heaven without God and Jesus. But you know, they'd have to be the least and the most righteous, the poorest, the last in line, the least of others, and suffer, and also be righteous. And that's one of the only ways that in the Old Testament, the Jewish people entered what they called Olam Haba, which is heaven. And when there were very few that made it to heaven. Well, very few. Most of them just ended up in Hades or hell. So there is possible for them to get into heaven, but unlikely without God and Jesus. God and Jesus is the real way, and that shows us in the Bible, the New Testament really more than the Old Testament. So that's how that really is. That's reality. It shows us what everything's about, but it's not easy. It sucks. My life is. I don't know what I have to look forward to continue living. I don't know what I have to look forward to continue living. You know, I'm not with my wife and kids, but I have to honor her. I still have to honor her. I can't think any little thing mean against her. I may not be able to ever fornicate. I don't want to fornicate. I know that's bad. I can see what it is. Sex, you know. Yeah, that's wrong, and I'd suffer for it later. So I don't know if I'll ever get to be with a woman again because I don't have my wife, and I don't want to live alone. I'm not like those people who like living alone. I don't like it. I don't want that to change. It feels like I'm a poor young man when I had to be a poor young man and live in an apartment with a mattress on the ground, and be looked down on by like people because I was skinny and not even. You know, I looked okay, but it was just, I don't want to feel that way again. I like being, even if I was poor, which I don't want to, it's not an option with Danica. Her family just, they don't do that. And I think that would be impossible. It'd almost have to be the end of the world or some war. It's never going to happen. They have plenty of money. And, I wouldn't care if I was poor if I got to be with her and the kids, and we didn't worry about her parents pushing money all the time, and as long as we had enough food and shelter and stuff like that, and I might still try to do the famous stuff. I might still try to do the famous because I enjoy it a little bit. It's what I like to do. Like, it makes me feel good to do films and movies and stuff. But as long as I had her and the kids, I think I'd be okay But I don't know if I can work at my dad's stuff anymore, because it causes kind of, unless I hire the workout, and it's like, I don't know. So if I had her and the kids, it'd be okay. We'd probably still be able to work at things that we like. If I had her and the kids, it'd be okay. It wouldn't matter if I was poor, if I lived in like as long as it wouldn't hurt our breathing or something. If it was in a trailer with mold, I'd have to get rid of the mold. Is that a bee? A bee. A bee. I think it's a bee. And so as long as that, like, the house wasn't so bad that it would hurt your health, you know, it'd have to be healthy enough or it doesn't hurt your health. And they have brand new houses there. All of them now have brand new houses. Even Danica's house is brand new, but it was like, I don't know how much it's worth. It's a pretty good house. I don't know. And I'm not with her. Well, I guess that's okay. I'm not withered. I'm not withered. Oh, something to be happy about. Well, he hates me because he's got to go to his job. Where do I work at? I can barely stand because I stood too long and out. Who knows? Try to blame others for my problems. I used to try to blame others, but I think I don't now. But I still try to figure out, are they causing me to feel that way? Is it because I thought it was because of the relationships I have? Like, something is causing me to feel that way or think that. And then when I find out, I'm nice to them. But some mean ass stuff happened a few weeks ago out of nowhere. It sucked. It was like somebody sent a demon here. It was so bad. But it's okay now. I can barely walk and I have to pee. I've been standing up so much. I'm gonna go to use the bathroom.
I'm on a night train. I can never get enough. I'm on a night train. I love that stuff. I'm on a night train. Ready to cross and burn. I don't care.
I'm ready to crash and burn. He's fucking Axl Rose. He sang that and still has $100 million. Fuck you. I don't want to crash and burn. I said that because I was mean. I didn't want to crash and burn. But I said the wrong thing. It somehow, I said, I laughed. I must have laughed because I said the wrong thing. It didn't make any sense. And I was telling somebody, fuck you, that maybe there was like, maybe it was like the wrong thing. It made no sense or something. And it really, I was supposed to do something else. Like, that, I don't know. I don't even know what that was. And instead I got angry. Fuck you. I wrote out $100 million. You can't make me crash and burn or something. But it was like some stupid fear-driven thing. When people get driven by fear and they try to act better, they say the stupidest shit. Like, there's this guy, they say the most random shit, like, they don't know what it means. They don't know what it means, and it means that they're gonna die tomorrow or something. But they keep going to acting like they're they don't. I don't know what they're trying to do. Like when they try to get more and more successful, sometimes they're doing the wrong things, and they may not even be successful. I don't know. People get the wrong ideas. They think it has to be one way, but it's like they're. How am I gonna do legs when I stood there for so long? Oh shit! Not this house. It's a miracle. I didn't hurt the cement. No, I took the weight and threw it down as hard as I could. That sucks. It's a miracle that Inga put all this. She did a bunch of hard work. The woman she carried the bags of cement, and she did hundreds of bags of cement. She mixed by hand. No, but I'm sorry. I didn't think about. Inga, but it's a miracle it didn't hurt her cement. This is really strong cement. That's pretty good. How awful. I took the weight, threw it down as hard as I could. It didn't even hurt the ground. It didn't break my weight. It didn't my weight. Stupid. It didn't hurt this house. That's the thing. See, if I ever have done anything to hurt this house, it almost made me cry. Because the suffering that I did to work on this house was just, oh man. I'll never be able to work this hard on something under those conditions ever again. My body can't go through it again for what I had to do on this house. I don't know how the fuck I did it. But it was because it was stressful. Like I think I have the ability to get really in good shape and healthy and feel amazing again, look younger, lose maybe 20 pounds. And but I have to, it's like sometimes it's felt so bad for so long. I don't know how I've even made it. And it's felt like that for more than a year. It's felt like that for more than a year, the worst. Like the general feeling of not, like for how good I felt. I might have gotten sick one time and then I got better again. But when I was younger, the past, since it's happened since February of 2021. I got really worried. There was this really stressful thing that happened. It caused me to gain 40 pounds. I got very depressed. But now I've gotten back healthier. I've lost 30 pounds. I've literally lost 30 pounds.
it's gotten better. And when I got light enough, I was able to run again. I was able to run and film that in videos, but I had to really fast. I had to really not eat anything and be light. And then, you know, after I'd done it for a long time, then I had to really not eat anything else and to be light enough to get to where I was losing enough weight to where I could run again. You know, because this past year has been so, it was so heavy. It was the heaviest I've ever been. It was 248 pounds, I think. I was 248 pounds. And it was just too heavy to run. And I felt like there's something good telling me just run anyway, to kind of hurt my body a little bit, to keep up with the older people in my life are aging and stuff now that I've gotten older. And I had been too much into my appearance and had no problems with my body and stuff. And they wanted me, it was like I was supposed to kind of hurt myself a little bit. But I know how I can get better from it. Is just get, you know, I don't want to tell anyone, but I don't want to feel too old, and like I don't know if I could do it without my films and videos having ever gotten there, no matter how hard, you know, they haven't gotten there yet. They haven't gotten there. It's not paying my bills, and the worry about what I might have to do to pay my bills, it's pretty scary. And so you know, I don't know how, is that really good out there? You know, I can just go and paint a wall. Is that really all it would be? You know, just painting a wall. It's not going to be some traumatic thing, or not traumatic, but you know, my body's always been okay. But you know, it's not going to be. Am I gonna not be able to do it anymore after having to be doing that again after I've done it 17 years? So this morning it was like, I mowed my lawn. I might have to mow a little more, and I think I can sell my house and just get away from it, because I got to pay my bills. I don't know if I can rest as much as other people get to rest. You know, that means arrest. If you rest ever, you know, it's like you're always having to fucking work at things. Just to it's like right now I gotta find some way, because I was standing here because Al said, you know, if you walk on concrete, it's not good for the joints. And because I was kind of got along with him, okay, you know, that made it so that when I'm standing on fucking concrete, it was never a problem before I met him. Somehow, I'm sorry, I don't mean to blame him, but like, that was never a fucking problem, standing on concrete. You know, I was superhuman at sometimes. You know, I worked at it that hard to be that way. I didn't have it naturally. I was a weak person when I was 23. I had back problems. I had you could see the bones in the back of my shoulders. I had been bedridden for 9 months editing, doing my best work editing, and then I found strength training, and it helps me, and it helped me get more healthy. So why, just because he wants to be my peer or equal, like I can't be his equal. I can't be an equal of somebody who's 72. You know, I hope he's okay. I've stood up for his health so much. I've never done any bad to his health, but he's not supposed to be here. But how do I get my kids? Like, I don't know how to get my kids because they're in Texas. I don't know. Somebody makes this standing here in these clothes, because it's not covered up and proper, about a dick. They make it a feeling about a dick because they think, because standing in front of a camera with little clothes, no matter how the fuck it looks, even if I was 40 pounds heavier, they'd still think, yeah, he's trying to, you know, show himself in little clothes. They think it's about a dick. They think it's about a feeling to a dick. Whoever's watching this, somebody in my family, because I know them, because they're in my family, it's caused my videos to get those views. I think, but that's my problem. That's my problem. I've started, you know, I've been here since 2005. I've been here again since 2005. I don't know what the problem, I don't know if that has to do with my views being so low, but they're not, you know, right now it's not getting enough views. And those are the people in my life who think that by me right now looking 20 pounds overweight, because I'm standing in front of camera at this angle showing myself in not proper clothes, you know, why would I have to ever fucking fit in with that? Why can't I have long fucking huge blue hair? And if you try to put shit in it, why can't I have huge ass fucking long blue hair with makeup on, with a young perfect face, really ripped, really athletic, where there's no fucking hair on it, looks smooth skinned, really superhumanly athletic and good looking? Why can't I fucking do that and walk down the street and act cool? How I fucking feel like it, you know? Why is that not acceptable in this? Why is that not acceptable with these people? You know? Why is that? Why when I go into Roanoke, if I look that way, what would they say? What would they say? Thank God they wouldn't try to do something bad to me. Thank God they wouldn't try to do something bad to me. But it's a little frightening. But if in Los Angeles, you can look as eccentric as you feel and walk down a street, you know, and you're not a fucking homeless person either, you know, because I got my entire house ready. I've been cleaning up every little fucking spider web so it's ready to sell at any moment. All you gotta do is make that bed, take that t-shirt off there, clean a few things off that countertop, put my house for sale, mow a little bit of the lawn. And that's it. The entire house is in showing condition. That's how I had to live, ready to be thrown out any moment. That's how my house is. You know, I have things I can do here that make it feel comfortable, that make it feel okay, but all my stuff is packed up. All my library film books, anything that you leave out, all their stuff that you, if you look back at my videos when I was here and happy and knew this was my home, you know, I have had to be ready for fucking real estate agents to come in, maybe. You know, it doesn't feel that good. And I might have to go to Los Angeles and sell my house. You know, because what does die like a faggot mean for making my videos? What does die like a faggot mean? What does die in poverty mean? What does that mean? Because I don't want to work at their kinds of work, which is a small fucking limited thing that I think I can make way more money at my actual movies in Los Angeles, and they're happy and they make they don't die. Hopefully they don't die. You know, and I don't want to start going to work at stuff right now. Actually. You know, when I've worked 47 years, and I'm younger than that. I've worked 47 years. I should be retired. And it's like right now, it's like figuring out a way to recuperate or fucking, I don't want him to die or some shit, but I don't want this problem anymore of standing on concrete supposed to hurt your joints in any fucking way. You know, I'm not going to be mean about it. I've always helped his health. I've always helped him his health. He's gotten in better shape more and more just by being with me, and I got heavier from my kindness to him. So he could survive like a fucking parasite, they said. People called him a parasite. People called Al a parasite. It felt like he was taking my health to live on my resources, to throw his slop around the kitchen while he's cooking, to give me shitty food when I was trying to fast, when I was losing weight and trying to fast, and he'd give me meals, and it caused me to gain 8 pounds when I had to have him here, when I had to take him in for the winter so he didn't die. That was stressful for me, followed by 3 months of 12 hours a day renovating this house to get it ready to sell, which put more weight on me. And then I got to work on my health. And then immediately, as soon as I was able, I had to go out to California and drive sometimes 24 hours a day, 14 hours a day out there, constantly looking, you know, driving across the whole country, then try to drive back to see my kids, always in a fucking car. I don't even like driving cars. I don't want a car. I had told myself I hate driving. It was stressful. I don't like it. I want to be driven by Ubers if I had to go to California. I don't want to be in that traffic. And it was a struggle just having a place to live night to night or every 2 days or so, because they might say, oh, no occupancy that day. And it was, I didn't know if I had somewhere to live or not. And it took a bunch of money. And
if you move to Los Angeles, you have a real place to stay. You have an apartment. And when I said that, somebody made an anxiety about behind bars. So that must be Al. I'm trying to figure out what the anxiety is. He thinks that because I'm worried about, where I'm going to stay, either an apartment in LA or my house, that I have a huge house. He thinks that because he may not have a place to stay, he wants to put the politicians behind bars. He has a face. He's the one. I'm not angry at him, but he's the one. I looked at it. I found his Facebook page. He says at the top of it, it shows a Monopoly guy saying go directly to jail for those politicians. For those politicians and people he thinks have money. He wants to take their money. He thinks he's doing good. He thinks they're bad for having money or something. He wants to call them a Nazi. He wants to say they're a Nazi. Even somebody with not that much money. So that's where that anxiety comes from one of the things. And it's like, I don't know if that's even true. I think that some of it is from him. So they're trying to figure out what the anxiety is. And you know what I'm doing right now. I'm standing here not working, right? Because my fucking leg hurts from standing here because I've stood on concrete so long. So I gotta sit down and think of what I'm gonna do. How I'm gonna get to my kids. I might have to leave my entire house. I'm gonna have to I don't know how I'd mow the lawn because I gotta lay in a bed or something, recuperate after standing on his fucking concrete. These people who became my peers, who are like in their 70s, is because I looked at young women on the computer. And now I've suffered enough where I think I can go out to California and meet people my age again and not feel like I'm, have to fit in with the 70-year-olds. Or be here and, it's just, I don't want to think about my parents. I want my wife and kids. She can be beautiful at any age. I'm happy she's my age. Why, I don't know. Well, I'm going to turn this off. This is not the kind of, I'm going to turn this off. It just feels so bad, and they want me to keep standing up. They want me to keep standing up because they want it to hurt my body a little bit to fit in with the old people. It sucks. So I'm going to go. Bye. I'm sorry for being negative. I want to sit down and lay in a bed or something. This is just, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Okay, bye. Sorry if I was negative or mean. No, I'm out of here. Bye.